I'm Fitz, and this is the weekly Raw review. So let's get into it. It starts off with the Usos about to make an entrance, but then you can hear Paul Heyman trying to do the whole "Excuse me, my name is Paul Heyman" business. Um, it's a bit of a weird one. So the Usos are trying to enter as Division come in. Um, Logan Paul does some basic heel work. Paul Heyman shows the footage of the Masked Man. Basically, once Adam Pearce comes out. He's basically saying it's time for everyone to leave the ring. Paul Heyman says that he wants Bronson Reed to be in the Elimination Chamber. Adam Pearce says that he's going to be in a qualification match for the Chamber next week. Then LA Knight comes out, basically mocks Division for failing to get into the Chamber so far, but says that he wants a 6-man tag teaming up with the Usos against Division. Adam Pearce accepts. So that's the first match of the night. It's not too bad of a match. Bronson Reed ends up pinning Jimmy with the splash off the top. Then we get a box that gets delivered backstage, which has got a date on it, basically saying don't open it until this date, which correlates with the Elimination Chamber. Only thing I can think of is that story of Bruce Pritchard saying, I think it was Jim Cornette said, coming out of a box, you're instantly over. I just feel like it's a wink and a nod to that kind of thing. But yeah, could be something like Chris Jericho, could be something like the Gobbledygook, you don't know. Then basically Adam Pearce says to send the box to SmackDown and leave it to Nick Aldis to deal with. The El Grande faction catch Pearce, and basically El Grande Ludwig is saying that he wants an Intercontinental title match. Adam Pearce basically says, well, I'll give you a number one contender match for it tonight. So then we get a Natty promo package. Basically, she's going to be in the Elimination Chamber qualifier tonight for the women. That's the next match. We've got Asuka versus Bayley versus Natty. Natty just looks awkward in doing everything. Like, she should be the cheesy baby face because she's really not selling this real like Ronda Rousey MMA style type. Like, she kept just like intentionally trying to show her mouth guard off because I feel like because it says legend or some shit on there, and it's like, well, it's like she's seen footage of Kurt Angle in TNA and wants to try and do that, but the female version, it just doesn't seem convincing to me. It just seems awkward and cringy. The end of that match comes with an Asuka lock on Bayley, makes Bayley tap. Then we get a backstage segment where Obafemi's giving his contract. He says that he's going to look over it, and as he's leaving, as a stare down with Rusev. Then we get a Liv Morgan sit down interview with Michael Cole. Liv Morgan's basically saying she's not rushing her decision for who she's going to face at Mania. Stephanie Vaquer comes in, interrupts. She's speaking in Spanish and Dom's kind of translating in one ear to Liv, but it's not very clear, so you're only getting little bits of it. Goes on for way too long, really. Dom keeps like either translating to Liv or tries to argue back to Stephanie. And yeah, Liv doesn't say a word. Ends up, Stephanie leaves and Liv starts crying. It, went on a bit too long. Didn't really understand what's going on, and unless you speak fluent Spanish, you just gotta wait until somebody tells you what's happened, really. Then we get a CM Punk in-ring promo. basically saying he's a fighting champion, he's not jeopardising the Mania main event. Finn interrupts, brings out JD McDonough and Dominic Mysterio. They surround Punk, get in the ring. Finn's basically saying that he's the best in the world because he's done the dojos in Japan, the catch wrestling in Europe, the lucha stuff in Mexico. And basically Punk's response is saying that yeah, you did, but you did all that on your own, kind of thing, like, and says that Judgment Day has been an anchor holding Finn down essentially. As Punk then goes to leave, he turns his back, gives him the chance to basically jump him as he expected they was going to. Finn holds JD back, doesn't let them jump him. Punk gets out of the ring and from outside throws the mic back at Finn. It actually hits Finn like in the stomach or something. Doesn't sell it, but yeah, it got a bit of a reaction from the crowd. Then we get El Grande versus Penta in a number one contendership match for the Intercontinental title. I'm presuming it was the Tyler. I'm just gonna call him by the real names. Tyler Bate goes to give the metal plate to Ludwig. Gets dragged under the ring by nobody knows yet, but then obviously as Pete Dunne is trying to like help out Tyler Bate, El Grande, the original, obviously Chad Gable, comes out, deals with the two outside, drawing that distraction. Penta hits a springboard Mexican destroyer and gets the win. Penta in the original El Grande fist bump. Penta leaves. OG and the new Grande end up having a little fight. Chad Gable basically goes to pull Ludwig's mask off. Ludwig gets saved by the other two. So you can see where this is going in it. I can see it being a WrestleMania blow off, to be totally honest. They're really giving it a slow build. Then we get Dom, Liv and Raquel. Dom's basically telling Liv and Raquel to go because Liv's pretty depressed. Dom, JD and Finn are talking. Finn essentially says that he needs to prove this to himself, and if the Judgment Day really want to help him, then leave him to do it alone. Dom's kind of like, well, I've still got a match, guys, but everyone's falling out and pissed off at this point. Then we get AJ Lee in ring promo, saying essentially she wants to go to WrestleMania as the Intercontinental Champion. Calls out Becky. She's pretty much ready for a fight, considering last week there was no kind of heat there. Now suddenly there is. AJ is basically telling Becky to swing. Crazy Becky, like doing this whole like losing her mind bit. She says that she's not gonna bite on it and leaves. Just a side note, this whole crazy Becky stuff, like, she can't be getting movie roles after this because this is horrendous acting. Like, this is why if you can wrestle, just wrestle in it. If you can do a bit of both, do a bit of both. But if you can't, just stick to your strengths. Like, they've got Paul Heyman working there, the man that was known for like hiding the negatives and accentuating the positives. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't make sense why Becky is in this position, considering Heyman and Seth are obviously close due to the link up with this whole Vision storyline. But yeah, it is what it is, isn't it? Then we get the main event. We've got Javon Evans versus Dominic Mysterio versus Gunther. Obviously, for another slot in the Elimination Chamber match. Pretty good match. Dragon Lee takes out Gunther on the outside with a ring bell. And Dom basically looks like he's going to get the win. Javon Evans ends up hitting the OG cutter and taking advantage of Gunther being knocked out outside, gets the pin. Now we've only got 2 Elimination Chamber spots left in the men's match. So far we've got Randy Orton, LA Knight, Cody Rhodes and Javon Evans. Like I say, it's it's looking okay. The match is looking pretty decent so far, but yeah, another boring episode. This, like, it's actually getting to a point where I don't even know if I'm gonna make it to WrestleMania. Like, this is really taking it out of me. 'Cause like I say, I would normally just skim through, skip things that I don't want to see, but being forced to watch this whole thing all the way through for these reviews, it's really showing me how the standards have declined. Like, I've been talking about this on football, but across the board, everything has just seemed to decline. I don't want to be that miserable old man, but fuck, you know. Yeah, like I say, guys, we'll just have to wait and see what happens on SmackDown and then see what happens on Raw next. But gee, I'll catch you on the next one anyway.